you ever thought of committing suicide before? Even if it is just a glimpse of thought running through your mind, or even maybe just once in your life. I have. In fact, I've been constantly thinking about committing suicide since I was 12 years old. Whenever I feel sad, I wish that I could take my life away because maybe it will also take my sadness away. And I know it might sound very extreme, but that's the truth. And actually, I tried a lot of things to make it go away, but nothing really works. And I thought that maybe it is actually okay and normal to think about committing suicide as long as not actually committing suicide. And anyway, I've seen a lot of people on the internet saying that they wanted to commit suicide, but they never really do it. Even in fact, they are still alive today. So I thought that maybe it is okay until one day I asked my friend if they ever thought of committing suicide, even maybe just a glimpse of thought running through their mind, and their answer is no. They never thought of committing suicide before. And at that time, I realized that I was not normal. My sadness is not normal. And I decided to search for the answers from the internet. I tried to search for a lot of articles, watch a lot of YouTubes, until I realized that maybe I don't really need some information from the internet. Maybe I actually need some help from professionals. So with the support of one of my closest friends, I decided to seek help from a psychiatrist. And I got diagnosed with bipolar type 2 disorder. And it turns out that all of this time, whenever I feel sad and think about committing suicide, it's actually a depressive episodes of my illness. But because I was still able to go to school, work on my assignments, hang out with my friends, and active in organization, I thought it was just a mere sadness. I thought it was totally normal to cry for 6 hours on the night as long as you could still go to school for the next day. But it wasn't normal. I basically spent 6 years of my life and my entire teenagehood mistaking my depression as my sadness. And I started to doubt if sadness is the only emotion I mistook. What about my happiness? Is it a pure happiness, or is it actually my manic episodes? Then what about me when I was overthinking and worrying about something? Is it actually a normal overthink, or is it actually an anxiety? Or maybe what about when I was angry with someone? Is it actually a normal angry, or was I having an anger issue? And there is still a lot of emotion that I questioned during that time. And maybe you're actually feeling this too. Maybe not as extreme as what I felt, but maybe you are crying more often than before, or maybe you overthink about something until you cannot even go to sleep, or maybe you become very moody whenever someone talks like that takes your mind. You were like, you just want to hit them or something. But you might brush off those feelings because in the end of the day, we need to keep moving on. We need to go to school, work on our assignments, go to work, take care of our families or maybe pets. But in the end of the day, there's no really time to think about our own emotions until one day those feelings explodes like a bomb waiting for its time. And at that time, you're no longer able to control your emotions, or maybe in fact, your emotions control you. So what should we do then if that happens? What is a normal emotions anyway? And that's the question that I've been asking this whole time. And I tried to seek for the answers. I tried to read a lot of articles on the internet. I tried to watch a lot of YouTube videos. Even I tried to read Indonesian and American guideline to diagnose someone with mental health illness. Until I realized maybe there is no definition of a normal emotions. Because maybe even if there's a universal meaning of what is sadness, happiness, anxiety, etc., but the way we experience it is different on each individual. What I think as happiness for me might be different in you, or maybe your sadness is actually not the same as mine. And I realized that maybe what's more important is to balance our emotion. Because we know there's positive and negative emotion like happiness or joy, and negative like sadness and anxiety. And what more important is to find the balance between those two. Because maybe all of this time we thought that being sad, angry, or fear is something bad, but it's actually not. It's actually part of our body, part of our function as a human to realize about danger surrounding us. It's actually there to warn us about dangers and help us to analyze our situation more comprehensively so we could work in daily life. But if the balance between this sadness and like happiness start to shift away, then we start to lose our awareness about things surrounding us. In my experience, shifting the balance toward more negative emotions like sadness and anxiety made me forget about the real meaning of happiness. I thought that maybe to be happy, I need to achieve great things in life or maybe travel around the world. But then I realized that it wasn't. I just need to be at my home, playing with my cats, read some books, eat my favorite dish to be happy. But it took me years of therapy and medicine to help me realize that. And it was in fact not an easy journey at all. And I basically need years to relearn the meaning of sadness. But you're not me, and I'm not you. I do not know your story. I do not know your circumstances. And maybe you experience different things. But maybe you do not realize that your emotion is off balance. Maybe you thought that being happy all this time is okay. But it's actually not. Being sad and worry about something is totally okay. Even it is pretty reasonable. It's actually part of our life experience, because maybe you feel sadder than before, you feel more tired and anxious than before because you have a lot of work to be done. Or maybe you feel happier all the time 24/7 because you have some trauma in your life that you just never want to see it again. You just hide it, and you hide it by feeling happy all the time. But it's not okay actually. The balance need to be there. You need to be able to control your emotion and never let it consume you. I was not really open in public before about my illness, but I realized that by sharing my story might help someone. I realized that my journey of finding the balance between emotions of positive and negative might make someone question themselves. Maybe you start to question themselves. Because what I felt wasn't great. 6 years of not knowing the meaning of sadness made me gone through a lot of things in life. And I do not want more people need to wait that long to seek for help. And actually right now, thankfully, with the help of therapy and medicine, I've been stable. My episode never came out again for 2 years actually, even without medication. But my journey is still far from ending, and so is yours. It's okay actually to not be okay. But what important is to understand yourself and to start your journey. You deserve to have a meaningful life, and you deserve to have a balanced emotions and mental health. And asking for help actually it doesn't mean that you are weak or you are worthless, but it means that you realize that life is still worth living.